Happy MLK Day to you guys. I know some of y'all look at it just like a free day off, huh? But today I'm gonna actually drop some knowledge that I don't think is very common. We hear the same stuff every MLK Day, and I want to drop some different, some that's hidden, some that I think is powerful, man. Because today I'm gonna be reviewing a video that's gonna drop some real truth bombs on us, yo. And I'm not even playing, yo. So buckle up, real talk. It's gonna be one of them. It's gonna be one of them. And basically, man, it's MLK Day, and we're gonna break down how COINTELPRO engineered a false opposition between MLK and Malcolm X to divide us, man. Every time it's MLK Day, we get divided and we start choosing sides. I'm with MLK, I'm with Martin, or you just start shitting on both of them. It's a ritual, if you ask me, man. And it's social engineering. It's a reason they gave Martin Luther King a day, but didn't give Malcolm one. It's for division. It's because they wanted to promote this idea that King was this peaceful, charming guy, and Malcolm X was this violent sort of thug. But that ain't even true about neither one of these dudes, for real. That's right. That's a COINTELPRO narrative, and I guarantee you, everything you think you know about MLK and Malcolm X, I guarantee you're going to re-question it today. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to expose how much of what we know about these two men comes not from their own words or their family members or nothing like that, from their community, but it comes from the oppressor. It comes from FBI hearsay. It comes from edited history and all this stuff. So we finna point this out, y'all. Psychological warfare that was designed to prevent black unity. Can you imagine if Malcolm and Martin would have came together? Guess what? They were about to. Remember that the East Coast, West Coast beef was manufactured. That was between two people, and they made it between two coasts. The truth may be uncomfortable, but we got to deal with it. I'm going to be playing a video today that's going to break this stuff down, and I'm going to be, reacting, reviewing, giving my commentary. So let's get right into this, man. Let's get into it.
Everything your history teacher told you about Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X was a lie. Designed to keep you weak, divided, and powerless. The truth died with them in 1965 and 1968, and that was exactly the plan. The FBI tried to blackmail King into ending his life. Malcolm X's convicted assassins were innocent, and the government knew it for 56 years. These aren't conspiracy theories. These are documented facts your textbooks deliberately left out. Because if you understood who Malcolm and Martin really were and how close they came to uniting, you'd realize the entire story was designed to keep Black America from ever building real power. The peaceful dreamer versus the violent radical. Enemies fighting for opposite visions. This story was manufactured to make sure the most dangerous alliance in American history could never happen. Today, I'm exposing 6 lies that have kept us divided for 60 years. 1955. Emmett Till, a 14-year-old black boy from Chicago, was beaten and killed in Mississippi for allegedly whistling at a white woman. His killers were acquitted by an all-white jury in 67 minutes. A year later, Look magazine paid them $4,000 to confess. His mother held an open casket funeral. 50,000 people came. Jet magazine published the photos. Black America saw the truth, and something broke. This was the America where entire black communities were burned to ash while police watched, where a black child could be killed and his killers could profit from it. Into this stepped 2 warriors who would terrify the power structure more than any foreign enemy. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. The system made sure neither would live to see 40. Before we continue, if you believe these hidden histories need to be told, Subscribe to Black Stories Untold and help us spread the truth they don't want you to know. Now, on to the lies white America has been feeding you for 6 decades. Lie number 1. They were total opposites. Your history teacher gave you the easy story. Martin was good, peaceful, patient. Malcolm was dangerous, angry, violent. Secret FBI documents prove the Bureau created this division on purpose. FBI agents running COINTELPRO planted fake stories claiming Malcolm called King a traitor. They sent anonymous letters trying to start fights. FBI memos from 1964 spell out their goal: prevent the coalition of militant black nationalist groups, and prevent the rise of a messiah who could unify and electrify the militant black nationalist movement. Malcolm and Martin weren't opposites. They were two sides of the same revolution. When Malcolm said, "by any means necessary," in June 1964, he was responding to 4 black girls: Addie Mae Collins, Cynthia Wesley, Carol Robertson, and Denise McNair, killed by a bomb at Birmingham's 16th Street Baptist Church.
If anybody in the chat room would like to come up, with smoke, because I see a couple of comments toward MLK or Malcolm X, I ain't gonna give the person no shine because I'm offering them to come up on the call. Drop a 1 and I'll drop the link.
Malcolm argued black communities had the right to arm themselves when the government wouldn't protect them. King's nonviolence was equally strategic. In Birmingham 1963, he filled the jails with protesters until businesses couldn't function.
Did you hear that? Martin Luther King filled the jail with protesters until businesses couldn't function. People keep saying Martin Luther King was about integration and they ain't for it, but that's a psyop because they use YouTube. I bet you that they wearing Louis Vuitton, they got Gucci on, I bet you they own Nike. I bet you they shop at See, when a person tell me they don't want to be integrated and they ain't living off grid, I'm going to tell you, you full of shit, man. You using that as a reason to clickbait to be able to shit on MLK, which is what COINTELPRO want us to do. They tainted these men legacies. If we understood what MLK really was doing for the people, because I'm from the South, it's easy to say that, talk shit in 2026 when ain't nobody sicking dogs on you. That's right. When you can sit back on your ass and enjoy all the benefits that people in the South fought for, and then shit on the people that orchestrated the movements that even made it be able for you to enjoy public transportation equally. Imagine you got to go to work and you get on the bus, it ain't a lot of seats, and they say, "Hey, Negro, you get off and wait on the next one." Now you late for work just for a white person who may not even trying to go to work. They just chilling. Stuff like that was going on. And so when they boycotted the public transit system, it changed that. And people may say, well, he was fighting for black people to eat at the same table with white folks. No, it wasn't about being around white folks. It was about getting treated like white folks get treated in society, which is equally. Y'all falling for a psyop for real. It ain't about integrating with white folks. It's about me being able to do everything white folks doing. If they can do it, then I should be able to do it, right? They can eat right there, I can eat right there. They can sit there, then I should be able to sit there. That's what it was about, man. Let's go.
And the city started bleeding money. When Bull Connor unleashed dogs and fire hoses on teenagers, the images exposed American brutality worldwide. Both men understood power, and the moment their hands reached toward each other, both had to die. Lie number 2.
So in order for you to let me see what MLK was doing was very militant because he was galvanizing thousands of people for one mission. Come on. That's right. What MLK was doing was very militant because he was galvanizing thousands, tens of thousands of people together for one agenda against the establishment. And you will have a lot of guys making content today spitting on this man's grave. Let's go.
Robertson and Denise McNair, killed by a bomb at Birmingham's 16th Street Baptist Church. Malcolm argued black communities had the right to arm themselves when the government wouldn't protect them.
You got Negroes who sit on their ass when our people get shot down by the police. You niggas don't do nothing. When stuff happened to people back then, people went out there and they protested, they marched, they boycotted. And these are the people you spitting in their grave while you get to sit back and enjoy your little luxuries. But the whole thing is, a lot of people say, well, they don't want to be integrated with the white man. Then ain't that stopping you from going off grid and doing your own thing.
King's nonviolence was equally strategic. In Birmingham 1963, he filled the jails with protesters until businesses couldn't function and the city started bleeding money. When Bull Connor unleashed dogs and fire hoses on teenagers, the images exposed American brutality worldwide. Both men understood power, and the moment their hands reached toward each other, both had to die. Lie number 2. Malcolm X was just an angry militant. Malcolm Little was 6 years old when his father's body was found on streetcar tracks in Lansing, Michigan in 1931. The family believed violent extremists from a hate group called the Black Legion killed him because Earl was organizing for Marcus Garvey. The insurance company ruled it self-inflicted to deny benefits. His mother struggled alone with 7 children. In 1938, she had a mental breakdown and was committed to Kalamazoo State Hospital for 24 years. Malcolm was 13 when he and his siblings were scattered into foster homes. At age 20, Malcolm was sentenced to 8 to 10 years for burglary. In prison, he copied the entire dictionary by hand, read Kant, Schopenhauer, Nietzsche, transformed himself from a street hustler into a scholar who would speak at Harvard and Oxford. When he joined the Nation of Islam in 1952, he built an empire. The NOI had about 500 members. By 1963, Malcolm grew it to 100,000. He recruited Muhammad Ali, founded Muhammad Speaks newspaper, reaching 600,000 circulation. He was building black power that didn't.
And that's crazy because people respect Muhammad Ali, but then they'll disrespect Malcolm. You notice how the Nation of Islam disrespects Malcolm, and basically both of these brothers get disrespected. It's equal disrespect because you got people taking sides. People don't understand that Malcolm X and MLK was the biggest threat to these folks. These two young brothers coming together was the biggest threat, man. You got the black church uniting with Islam. Something that never happened. Something that never has even been thought about since these brothers' death. Now imagine this. Imagine the black church all around the world, the black church, and all of the black Muslims and Islam all around the world coming together for one political agenda for the people. Put beyond the religion, because we getting beat down in the street, right? We getting dogs sick on us and stuff like that. So this is why these two brothers had to die. Listen to the video.
Need white approval. But here's what destroys the angry militant lie. In 1964, Malcolm left the nation and went to Mecca. He wrote, "I saw tens of thousands of pilgrims from all over the world. They were of all colors."
Now listen, Malcolm was teaching integration on a religious level. He was saying, and then Malcolm went against other groups when he left the nation. He was trying to connect with anybody that he thought was genuine, in my opinion. And this is what people don't like about Martin Luther King, because they said, well, Martin Luther King was trying to integrate us with everybody. So was Malcolm. So was Malcolm. That's right. If you look at the Nation of Islam, they are fully integrated with Scientology today, which is created by a white dude by the name of Ron L. Hubbard, and in my opinion, who's a weirdo. So the same group that we're trying to say is the face of let's not integrate with the white man is fully integrated with the white man today, and this ain't even no joke. So don't you find that ironic that we would still make these old outdated talking points, like one was for integration and one was not? And then using the word integration is ignorant too. It wasn't integration, it was equality. If I'm going outside and there's another group of people that can enjoy certain privileges that I can't enjoy, how are we going to say that this is equality for all? That's all I'm saying. Everybody should be able to do everything. All equal citizens treated equally, right? In an equal society. That's all people was fighting for, equality. Now, you can call it integration and taint these guys' legacy, but that's what you doing. Let's go.
But we were all participating in the same ritual, displaying a spirit of unity and brotherhood. He founded the Organization of Afro-American Unity and started building bridges. In January 1965, while King was locked in a Selma jail, Malcolm traveled to Selma. He met privately with Coretta Scott King and told her, "I want Dr. King to know that I didn't come to Selma to make his job difficult. I really did come thinking that I could make it easier. If the white people realize what the alternative is, perhaps they will be more willing to hear Dr. King." He told a gathering at a Congress of Racial Equality meeting, "We want freedom now, but we're not going to get it saying we shall overcome. We've got to fight to overcome." 3 weeks later, on February 21st, 1965, Malcolm was assassinated while giving a speech at the Audubon Ballroom in Harlem.
Let me give a shout out to the chat room, man. Much love, and it's good to see everybody in the chat room. Moderators, channel members, viewers, appreciate y'all.
But Malcolm wasn't the only revolutionary they were rewriting into a cartoon. Line number 3. Martin was just a peaceful dreamer. Born Michael King Jr. in Atlanta in 1929, Martin grew up watching his father challenge white authority from the pulpit. In December 1955, when Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to give up her bus seat, the 26-year-old King helped organize what became a 381-day boycott of Montgomery's bus system. The black community made up 75% of bus ridership. They crippled the city's transportation revenue for more than a year. King and other organizers arranged carpools and coordinated rides, while the city arrested him and 88 others for conspiracy to interfere with a business. The boycott held. By December 1956, the Supreme Court ruled Alabama's bus segregation laws unconstitutional. They froze King in 1963 with "I Have a Dream."
Now watch this. You see how King was getting stuff done? You see, you can spit on King's legacy, but I guarantee you, you can't get tens of thousands of black people on one agenda today to rise up against anything that's targeting us. So in this day, we was being targeted via the public transit system. That was very important. Why? You know why a lot of folks don't think that the bus boycotts was important? Because we so spoiled as hell today. And we don't realize that the public transit system was like the main form of transportation that we had as a people back in them days. Not everyone had a car. It was rare to have a car. So people really relied on the public transit system, like the New York subway system. But that's what the bus system was in the early South. So today, people may not factor that in, and they may think, well, who cares about like bus boycotts and stuff? You know what I'm saying?
And hoped you'd never learn what came after. On April 4th, 1967, exactly 1 year before his assassination, King stood in Riverside Church in New York City and delivered Beyond Vietnam, a time to break silence. He called the United States government the greatest purveyor of violence in the world today, and connected the dots between racism, capitalism, and militarism. He described how America was taking the black young men who had been crippled by our society and sending them 8,000 miles away to guarantee liberties in Southeast Asia, which they had not found in Southwest Georgia and East.
Now tell me, ain't that some FBA talking points? How you gonna go against MLK? Like, I think we need to pump our damn brakes, man. That's right. Dude, it's so easy to be young as hell in 2026, spitting in the grave of people who didn't have none of the luxuries y'all enjoying today, dude. You got the internet, you got all this stuff, cell phones, and guess what? You can't do what they did with all your technology. You can't get people together against the establishment on the level that they did. And you got more technology to help you do it. You ain't got to knock door to door or nothing like that. So every year you will see people spitting in the grave of MLK. Like, and it's very popular. I think it's clickbait. They do it with Malcolm X too.
East Harlem. He demanded America undergo a radical revolution of values and shift from a thing-oriented society to a person-oriented society. The backlash was instant and brutal. The Washington Post published an editorial titled "A Tragedy," saying King had diminished his usefulness to his cause, to his country, and to his people. The New York Times accused him of linking two public problems that are distinct and separate. The NAACP passed a resolution condemning King's anti-war stance. Civil rights leader Ralph Bunche accused him of making a serious tactical mistake. King lost allies, donations dried up, and the FBI marked him for destruction. But he pushed forward anyway. In December 1967, he announced the Poor People's Campaign, a plan to bring 3,000 poor people of all races to Washington, D.C. to occupy the National Mall until Congress passed an economic Bill of Rights guaranteeing employment, a living wage, and housing. They would build Resurrection City, a shantytown on federal land, and refuse to leave until their demands were met. This wasn't about asking nicely anymore. This was about forcing the government's hand through economic disruption. King was killed in Memphis on April 4, 1968, while organizing striking sanitation workers. But here's the lie that made it all possible. The lie that kept these two giants from ever joining forces. Lie number 4. They hated each other. March 25, 1964, U.S. Capitol Building. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. met for the first and only time. Both were attending Senate hearings on the Civil Rights Act. After King finished the press conference, Malcolm approached him in the hallway. They shook hands, exchanged pleasantries. Photographers captured one image of them smiling together. The entire encounter lasted less than a minute, but the media spun this into a decades-long rivalry that kept Black America divided over whose tactics to follow. Secret FBI documents reveal the truth. The Bureau worked deliberately to prevent any alliance. COINTELPRO memos from 1964 describe operations to prevent the coalition of militant Black nationalist groups, and specifically to keep Malcolm's followers from joining forces with King's movement. After Malcolm's assassination, King wrote to Malcolm's widow, Betty Shabazz, "While we did not always see eye to eye on methods to solve the race problem, I always had a deep affection for Malcolm and felt that he had the great ability to put his finger on the existence and root of the problem." By early 1965, both men were moving toward the same revolutionary understanding. Malcolm was reaching out to SNCC organizers like John Lewis and Fannie Lou Hamer, offering his organization as support for the more militant civil rights workers who were tired of getting beaten without fighting back. King was connecting domestic racism to American imperialism and calling for fundamental economic restructuring. They were converging on a shared truth. The enemy wasn't just segregation laws, but the entire capitalist system that required black oppression to function properly. Imagine if they'd united. Malcolm's organizing with King's authority, Malcolm's international connections with King's churches, Malcolm's self-defense with King's ability to expose white violence. That would have been unstoppable. The government knew it. That's why neither man lived to see it happen. Lie number 5. Their deaths were tragic coincidences. The FBI began watching King in December 1955, the exact month the Montgomery boycott started. By 1963, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover had personally authorized wiretaps on King's phones and bugs in his hotel.
Click the link, come up, guys, and voice your ideas, your theories, your disagreements, your input. Salutes to the chat. The link is pinned to the chat.
Hotel rooms. On November 21, 1964, just days after King won the Nobel Peace Prize, the FBI mailed an anonymous package to King's home. It contained a tape recording of King in various hotel rooms obtained through illegal surveillance. The letter that came with it, later confirmed to be from the FBI, was read by King and his staff as a threat, telling him to delete himself before accepting his Nobel Prize. One line read, "There is only one way out for you. You better take it before your filthy, abnormal, fraudulent self is bared to the nation." The United States government tried to drive Martin Luther King Jr. to end his life. That's not speculation. That's documented fact the FBI admitted to. Malcolm was equally targeted. FBI files show the Bureau had planted informants inside.
Now, people will disagree with this, and they'll be like, they'll believe that the FBI, the COINTELPRO, had a part in Tupac's unaliving, Biggie, all that. They'll give you conspiracy, but not Malcolm or Martin. And we see how much power these brothers had in their 20s. Imagine, man, we talking about Malcolm had become the face of Islam in America, and Martin was the face of the black church. These were the two biggest religious movement for black people. And you got these two people now consolidating these two movements into one face. And all it takes is for these two young brothers to come together, and that will change history, because now it'll be an alliance between black Islam and black church. And you want to know why they died young. Okay.
The Nation of Islam since the 1950s. After Malcolm left the NOI in 1960,
we talking about two brothers that faced the same fate, assassination from a sniper. Not from a sniper, but you know, assassination, taken out. Malcolm, his was different, but in both cases, hitmen. So we know the government don't do that unless you're a threat. These two dudes coming together would have been a big threat to the divide and conquer agenda, and what they was trying to do as far as keep us divided with the black church and Islam while they oppress us, and we haven't galvanized ourselves. So yeah, this is crazy, because even on an economic level, this was a threat in just so many ways.
64, surveillance got even heavier. On February 21st, 1965, Malcolm was assassinated at the Audubon Ballroom. 3 Nation of Islam members were arrested: Talmadge Hayer, Norman 3X Butler, and Thomas 15X Johnson. During the trial, Hayer confessed to the murder, but testified that Butler and Johnson were innocent and that his actual accomplices were not even on trial. Despite his testimony, all 3 men were convicted. Butler and Johnson maintained their innocence for decades. In 2021, 56 years later, a New York judge threw out their convictions, calling them a miscarriage of justice. The government knew they were innocent. They let two innocent black men die in prison to hide the truth about who really killed Malcolm X. King was shot on April 4th, 1968 in Memphis. James Earl Ray was convicted of the crime. But in 1999, the King family brought a civil case seeking answers. After a month-long trial, a Memphis jury unanimously found that King was assassinated as the result of a conspiracy involving the Memphis police, organized crime figures, and government agencies. Lloyd Jowers, who owned a bar below the rooming house where Ray allegedly shot from, testified that he was paid $100,000 by a Memphis produce dealer with organized crime connections to help arrange the assassination. Both men were under constant FBI surveillance. Both were targeted by COINTELPRO. Both were deemed threats to national security, not because they were violent, but because they were effective at organizing black people to challenge the system. And the government benefited from both deaths. Lie number 6. Their legacies are taught accurately. After taking the lives of Malcolm and Martin, the government did something more clever than erasing them. They rewrote them into harmless symbols. Malcolm got frozen as the angry militant, his intellectual growth after Mecca deleted from textbooks. His final year reaching out to civil rights groups, building coalitions, and developing international solidarity networks? Gone from the story. They kept just enough of his militancy to scare people away from actually studying his political analysis of capitalism and imperialism. King got sanitized into a safe dreamer. His 1967 condemnation of America as the greatest purveyor of violence in the world? Erased. His demand.
That just answer your question. Somebody asked a question. How come MLK gets a day and Malcolm X don't? Because they was rewriting history, and that serves the narrative that they want us to think about MLK being the peaceful guy and Martin, and and Malcolm not being the violent guy.
The greatest purveyor of violence in the world? Erased. His demand for a radical revolution of values that would dismantle capitalism? Ignored. His Poor People's Campaign calling for wealth redistribution barely gets a mention. Corporate America now plasters his face on advertisements during MLK Day sales.
So you got these two powerful voices, and they finna rise up in unison speaking anti-capitalistic, anti-establishment rhetoric. And you know how big Islam was and the black church was during this time.
Offering discounts in his name. They've transformed a revolutionary who died organizing striking workers into a mascot for the system he fought against. This serves a purpose. A divided black movement arguing over whether to follow Malcolm or Martin stays weak and predictable.
Yeah.
The sanitized King.
And guess what they do? They get the boule guys out here to reestablish the agenda and the psyop every year. So every year when it's MLK Day, they do a ritual on black folks. And that ritual is to reestablish the division and the false history that they seeded out there between these two dudes. And how do they reestablish it? They do it by making us engage into arguments and debates about MLK or Malcolm X. When if these two brothers was alive, they would be working together against the enemy, man. That's right! And instead of that happening, both of them dead and the enemy using their death to keep us divided. Now tell me that ain't no evil shit. So, and we followed into it. Go around YouTube, look at all the people that's spitting in these brothers' graves and look at what they promoting. Look at what they built and stand for and what they doing for black folks, and make your comparison that way. It's easy to criticize dead people on the internet that didn't exist when they was around. So if you think you can bring out a crowd like this to DC, the Nation of Islam is the only group that's And the Nation of Islam ain't got this many people out there. I forgot how many people showed up for this, but these kind of numbers before the internet, man. And you like, come on, dude. Are we serious? Like, some of y'all dudes be Andrew Tate fans, and then you be dissing Martin Luther King. That's crazy. That's right. That's crazy.
Allows white liberals to celebrate civil rights without confronting their role in capitalism and ongoing oppression. The demonized Malcolm lets the media paint any black person demanding self-defense as an extremist who needs to be stopped. Meanwhile, the FBI admitted in 2018 that they watched Black Lives Matter using tactics identical to COINTELPRO. The war on black liberation never ended. The methods just got more sophisticated. You've been lied to because the truth threatens power. Both understood racism, capitalism, and militarism were connected. Both moved toward unified action, combining moral pressure, economic disruption, self-defense, and international solidarity. Evidence strongly suggests government involvement, from surveillance and harassment to exonerated killers to the 1999 conspiracy verdict. To honor them means rejecting the lies. Read Malcolm's post-Mecca speeches. Read Beyond Vietnam. Understand their complete evolution. Refuse to choose between their strategies. Black liberation requires combining all approaches, protest and institution building, moral appeals and economic pressure, integration and self-determination, nonviolence and self-defense. Malcolm and Martin were killed, but their vision survives. Black people united across differences, economically independent, internationally connected, willing to fight for complete liberation by any means necessary. That vision still terrifies power, which is why we must speak it, teach it, and live it. If you want to resist the whitewashing of history.
You know, when I was young, I was real young. I think, I had to be like in the 9th grade. I had to do a rap about Martin Luther King on MLK Day. Yep. I had to write a rap about MLK, and I had to rap that joint for the school. Dr. Martin Luther King was here to help us blacks, but we was fighting each other, so our anger kept us back, and no matter what, dog, you can't pay him back, because during his coming of age was the time of no slack, and no blacks was allowed to be free. But you see me, I'm just another black brother, seeing this brother die from the hands of another. Man, I remember that joint. I was young as hell. I had to do a rap for MLK Day. What's good, Thaddeus? Thanks for joining, man.
Yeah, I'm here feeling the vibe. I'm young Charlie in the chat though, but I was wanting to speak on this because of what's been going on, in the community as far as like on YouTube and we just had the Anton Daniels bull crap. But it kind of reflects to this warrant that we got, because it's like that whole deal with Malcolm and Martin, that was like a whole divide and conquer type deal. Just the fact that they pitted two people that was trying to go the same place against each other, but it was all kind of wrapped up in, they were calling both of them communists and socialists. They was putting those tags on those guys too, as far as like to try to make those enemies of capitalism, which is like economics, because both of them were trying to get black people economics right out of all things. The economic. That's what Mark ran into. That was his thing. That was really both of their things, the economics, and I think that's like the whole, like both of their movements. That's what gets lost in it, because they saying that by any means necessary, they make Malcolm more extra violent, and then they make Martin extra peaceful. But both of them was trying to get the black people economics. our money right, or getting property, or bank loans, opportunity. And I think that's the real message that they was really pushing. But you ever notice nobody ever talks about that.
You know why? Because that's the message that shows you they didn't really hate each other and they was working together. Because watch this, right? If there's no legit records out there that shows us any beef between the black church and Islam at any point during this time, because we was too busy getting oppressed by these other folks. And no one can show any records of Malcolm and Martin ever saying any negative things about each other and then like that, far as I know. So it makes me wonder, where did the whole idea of them beefing come from? And it was a COINTELPRO psychological operation. Because yeah, go ahead.
I think Elijah met with Martin Luther King at one point too. If I recall. Um, I don't think that's why I don't get, because Elijah was from Georgia, so I didn't understand why would they be having beef anyway. You see what I'm saying? Because it has to be some kind of connection for these. Because I think Martin did come to Chicago and met with the Elijah Muhammad before he got with Malcolm. So it's a whole like, it's like that whole, yeah, it's definitely was propaganda within, but it's like the same thing we got now. We have provocateurs within the black community. You see what I'm saying? You still got people like I look at it like we got now. It's people that's going to be a hindrance within both of their ranks to spread certain stories. You know, that goes on now, but I wouldn't necessarily even say that was they directed by outside forces, maybe the FBI or the government, or it might have people with their own agendas. Because you got to think about it. I don't think Malcolm or Martin were young leaders, right? But you got to think about it. It's guys older than them, that ain't in the position or had the charisma to talk like that. Do you think they might have been throwing stones? You
See,
know what I'm
and
saying?
that's my thing. It's a mixture of all of that, because one thing I know about the government and COINTELPRO, if there's somebody that's a threat to them, right?
Yeah.
They start off by trying to infiltrate the group that person belonged to first. So they try to find any members that can break or take a bag to set them up and stuff like that, versus them just going in and taking them out. So that's why you will see, like, yeah, they'll play on the fact that it's jealous people around Malcolm, it's jealous people around Martin. Yeah, oh, for sure. Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing about it. There's like some of them guys was not solid from the jump.
Yeah.
They seeing like like if you watch Malcolm the movie X, the movie
Yeah.
Malcolm X. Okay,
Yeah.
remember the guy brought him in up from prison, right? Now the guy brings him up from prison. Now you gotta think about this. Malcolm shoot past him. He with the doing the movie, he looking at him like, bro, I brought you in this. You didn't like shot past me. You with the minister. I wouldn't even, the buddy wasn't even that close to the minister. Now the minister got you up under him. See, and that's the jealous. That's that. Being when the time they got towards the end, you see that buddy was with it.
Right. Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
His
Like
name was Brother Baines, right?
Brother Baines.
Yeah, old
Yeah.
brothers.
See, but
Yeah.
so I can see that really happening with both of them. Older
But you,
guy bring him up under your wing, the younger guy shoot
yeah.
past, and then somebody come get in their ear, cause like, bro, don't you think that's kind of messed up? That so and so now, he running the organization,
Yeah.
and he the
Yeah.
man, and he done left you
Bro,
behind.
a person can say that's just a movie, but that sounds just like niggas, man. I'm gonna go for it. It sounds about right.
Has to
Sounds
be
about
happening.
right. Yeah.
As soon as dude, man, I don't want to put you on the job, and then they end up
Yeah.
being your boss.
Yeah.
Now the dude gonna walk around and hate on the job all day long. Man, fuck that nigga.
And you
Man,
know
I got him on.
what's
Now
crazy is
crazy.
most black NOI cats today give me the Brother Baines vibes.
That's
I'm
what
just
that's
saying.
what Louis Farrakhan give me.
Yeah.
Think about it, because look what the organization at now. I really feel like if Malcolm was still been alive, they would have never
Yeah.
signed into no contract with no L. Ron Hubbard. That's
It,
just
it's
kind of crazy.
it's
That's
just
just
it's just Nation of Islam give me these vibes like, okay, you see this well-dressed brother in the bow tie, he's smiling all the time, and he'll tell you some shit like, I warned you now, brother, beloved. Watch your back, beloved. I love you, beloved, but be careful, right?
yeah. Be careful.
Take care,
I'm gonna tell you who
beloved.
can talk like that.
Right? And that, right,
That
it's
girl Priscilla can
crazy.
talk like her. She can talk like the Muslim dudes too. Like I can't
That's
do it
how
like
they
you do.
threat you. They'll threat you with a smile like that, calling you beloved.
Beloved,
Damn.
yes.
Yeah.
Will threaten you, but and I noticed the thing. You ever notice the Muslims? They always quick to mess up a nigga. They ain't never touch a person, white person. I just never understood
That
that. Man, what you
man, come
supposed to
on,
do?
man. Come
What the?
on, bro.
Well, y'all ain't touched them. Y'all ain't touched
Come
not one
on.
white person, but y'all have come down on some niggas hard. Boy, y'all to be. Oh boy, you better than the Muslim, the NOI man that walk through walls and. Why y'all ain't walk through the walls and the white folks? I
Yeah.
ain't never understood that either. Like, bro, that's what always made me look kind of crazy at them. At one point in my life, I thought about the joining the nation and all that, but I had to start really listening. Like, bro, y'all ain't never roughed up or ruffled uh, a hair on a white man. So what? Y'all talk big and bad, but y'all ain't seen y'all. The only one that was really was by the action was Khalid. He gone, so like y'all just be talking to me. It's like it was a weird feeling to me. Like, bro, y'all got whole Nation of Islam be coming down on black people, but a white person they bringing a wall of defense to protect them. How that go?
Yeah.
I never
Hey,
understood that too. I
me
just never
neither,
understood
man.
that.
And I want to give a shout out to Rewritten. Hey, Rewritten, you still on salutes. I never understood that either, man.
Like y'all talk this pro black power, but then when Khalid went to that King University, y'all kicked him out for teaching out the book that y'all published. I said,
Remember,
man,
they silenced Malcolm for telling the white man, "Hey, the chickens came home to roost."
I seen a whole your boy the Saint Center do a whole post about that, and that made me fall away from him because he said he should have obeyed orders. What?
You see what I'm saying? These and what's so crazy is this, right? These will be the same dudes that would tell you, "I'm a boss, I'm a man," and guess what? In my opinion, you reduce your manhood when you join any organization where you got to take orders. You're now a goon, a minion at
Yeah,
that point. See, because I was in the military and I couldn't stay in because of my manhood kept it. It's like you got to shut the
yeah,
fuck up and just do what you're
yeah,
told. It's like
yeah.
your daddy. Like niggas who real alpha males, red pill niggas,
They're not gonna
to
do
me,
that.
they wouldn't do but well
No,
in the military for real.
no,
Yeah,
because I was in the military too. No, that's why I
they
didn't
wouldn't do
make it like
well
that.
in the military.
Nah. Cause after a while, you just be like, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do.
Right.
Like, you can't just be telling me what to do, and then you got to be up at 1,600 hours and
But the point is, even if you're wrong, I can't challenge it.
yeah, you got you if you gonna be the point man and
Yeah,
you walk across that damn thing, because he said it wasn't no tripwire, then boom, you dead because you done listened to somebody. You follow
Dantana.
orders and you dead.
Yeah, Dantana. I love these Normans, man. This is my second pair. I had the black ones, and the left ear cup went out, so I had the warranty, so I got these. But I love them, man. I make a lot of music on these.
You be dead listening to somebody orders. Oh yeah, we gonna go
Yeah,
take this hill, and you be the first one to go over there, and it's the wrong area, and pop out. Now you done died because you done listened to some idiot because he didn't know what he was talking about. I ain't with that. You
yeah.
want?
You
Yeah,
you
I
just
ain't.
you just and that's my thing, like, because a lot of guys in that community, right, they'll say that a woman supposed to shut up, do what she told, and basically submit to her man. And then they will turn around and be part of these organizations where they turn around and submit to dudes like
A
they
man,
telling they women, right.
a man.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
we
people that
yeah,
listen to like I can't. I'm just like, why y'all listening to that dude? That dude got it. He talking about telling you not to date a baby mama, but he got a baby mama. He dating a baby. He
yeah,
married one. Like nigga, what kind of? So you following him? He telling you not to deal with baby mamas, but he actually married the one and she already got a child. He a stepdaddy.
yeah. I
How that
never
work?
I never could go for that whole Malcolm should have did what he was told to do. You know, bro, what the hell is this, a cult?
Yep, that's
And,
exactly what
and, and,
happened.
and what's crazy, y'all call the white man a devil every day. Who cares when a devil die? Ain't the world a better place if it's one less devil?
They told
So,
Malcolm he was supposed to shut up. He wasn't supposed to speak on that. He was following. He's supposed to follow orders.
and,
What?
and and they said why? Because a lot of people respected the Kennedy family, and that's why you supposed to disrespect them even more. Once I know, okay, y'all like this. Oh, y'all, that was your man's, right? But we smoking a pack, right?
That's just like I think about that too, because in this time we got the what they call you TDS Trump. You got the Trump. It got TDS Trump deranged, but it's go both ways. It's got people against Trump, and you got people that's deranged for Trump. So it's like now it's a whole different paradigm. I don't even get that. Like, because I was telling people like, bro, every president been criticized. What make him special? You can't say nothing about him.
Yeah,
Why you can't say nothing about him? What make him so special that we got to like? If you say something about him, that you got to Trump derangement syndrome. No, I'm just holding him accountable for his stupid decision. Like, why is y'all carrying water for somebody like that? Like, oh, yeah, he's beneficial. How? Man, been beneficial to me. I ain't seen nothing Trump did for me. I don't know what they talking about. Like, I don't be getting it. I mean, we had
bro,
Citizen Man on here. Trump,
bro.
Trump. I ain't heard Citizen Man say nothing else since.
I'll fuck around and pull up to one of these channels, bro. Yeah, Citizen Man. Listen,
I ain't
man.
seen.
He's never gonna stop rocking with Trump, and that's why I just agreed. I'm gonna just let him do his thing, and we can just, salutes to
I
him.
like
He
Citizen
been
Man
on
though.
here. He was
Shout
on
out to
here a minute
Citizen
ago.
Man. I like Citizen Man though.
He cool.
I just laugh at about the whole Trump thing. Like, bro, I was not for the ride for that damn president. All of them trash to me. Democrat, Republican, you trash. All y'all work for the same team anyway, so it ain't nothing to me. It makes no difference to me who the president is. Yeah, it don't make
Yeah,
none.
it
That
doesn't.
honestly,
I know it's a lot of people out there that's shitting on either Malcolm or Martin. I would
man,
probably pull up on them if
I just
the
seen so
old me would
much.
pull up. Yeah,
So many people shit on Malcolm, Martin. Like lately, surprisingly, lately people been shitting on Malcolm, which is weird. But like they were saying, Malcolm, Martin Luther King was a womanizer, and all this he was cheating and all this other crazy stuff. Like it's weird. I
FBI
just felt,
seeded propaganda,
uh,
man. And see, when people bring up Malcolm, they say he should have did what he was told. And when they bring up Martin, they say, "Oh man, we don't give a he was for integration. That messed us up." These talking points come from the enemy. We have a flawed history about what these guys were and what they were standing for. And you got a lot of frat boys, Masons, Boule guys that are gonna, like I said, they're gonna reinforce this narrative every year and take y'all through this ritual.
I just don't understand how they now. Like I've even seen wild conspiracies say Malcolm X was an Obama daddy. Like you ever heard that one?
It's so many conspiracies out there about this person is that person and that person is this person. I don't go into that rabbit hole.
That's one of the wildest ones I had ever seen though.
Yeah.
That's one of like
Bro, I've heard some wild. It's a dude out there. His name Convergence. All of his videos is saying this person is really that person, and he said, "Listen, Beyonce is really Jay-Z, and Jay-Z is really Beyonce."
Oh, he doing Orlando Brown type foolishness. That's he
And
might as well have Orlando Brown on there.
his followers will get mad at you for challenging it. Like, it is Beyonce. He is Beyonce. But I'm like, bro, that's crazy.
He doing the Orlando Brown. That's what Orlando Brown built there. He said Orlando Brown said he was Raven.
Damn, bro. They doing that today, man. You know, they pointing at, bro, it's crazy, man.
Orlando Brown. He doing the Orlando Brown, man. He need to stop. I'm Jaguar right then. What do I mean? I guess he's saying Charleston White and what's the girl? Rick Ross baby mama the same person in.
Yeah, man.
Tia Kim. That mean he must be saying Charleston White and Tia Kim the same person.
Right. Right. I've seen it all, man.
What more you have on the documentary?
I reviewed the documentary, man. That was a fire documentary. I don't really like these faceless AI channels.
Yeah.
But whoever programming the AI here, he giving a lot of untold stuff that I like. So I decided to share that one, man, because
he did. I had some pushback on something he said earlier about can't remember. I'm gonna run back and see what he said earlier. He said something crazy early on that AI that didn't kind of make no sense. Oh wait, well I was about to look at that. He said something stupid.
yeah, shout out to everybody on the call. Welcome back. Thanks to you, Demi, and to
Peace and
Rewritten.
love, peace and love, everybody. Thank you for having me once again. My question is, how come we haven't found anybody else besides them two for our community? Is there any other ones like them?
Your mic is breaking up.
I'm sorry. My question was, how come we haven't found anybody else just compared to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King in this generation?
They were the last two big voices that was active on like a activist level, and they were frozen in time. And it's just a testament to they represent the end of a movement. They represent the end of an era, is what these brothers represent. And so that's why you will never see another Malcolm or Martin no more. The FBI said we can't ever have this again. When they got rid of them two, they made sure that you would never have no Negroes get this damn powerful where they can snap their finger and get tens of thousands of black people together. They said, look, we got to give them the illusion like they can do that with the NOI. We gonna let Farrakhan bring 1 million niggas to DC, and then they'll think, okay, well, they do got one man with all that power, but that's a controlled version. But the real shit that they couldn't control that would have gave us leverage and galvanization, I think that's why both of them young brothers, and I say young because they died both before 40, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and they was assassinated. So if you're a threat, that's how they get rid of you. So if there's any question if these brothers was a threat, we'd look at the fate they faced, and that'll let us know. But why there was no more after them, it's because they learned with them two Negroes right there how to prevent this in the future. And what you got now is a lot of young brothers spitting on your lead on their graves. So not only will you not have another Malcolm or Martin, you gonna have just the opposite. You gonna have niggas rising up saying, "Man, fuck Malcolm, man, fuck Martin." You know, that's what the COINTELPRO did. And to Jehovah the God, welcome to the call.
Hello there. Hello there, person. I'd like to point out, one guy, there was one guy who was almost like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and that be Tupac Shakur, I believe.
What's his name?
Tupac Shakur,
Oh yeah,
the rapper.
he had a lot of power too. Michael Jackson had a lot of power to galvanize people. It was a lot of them. They all died in similar ways.
Yeah, but if you actually listen to some of Tupac's earlier music and stuff, he was saying what Martin Luther King and what Malcolm X was saying and stuff. He he mentioned, and even in his interviews and stuff, he'd be talking about the economic stuff, the capitalism and stuff, the same things that they were trashing and stuff. And most rappers weren't even talking about this stuff.
Ibrahim Traore is the name that keeps coming up. Salutes to Paul. I need to look more into Ibrahim. Who am I letting on? I want to make sure it ain't a troll because I just let somebody in the back room on. And Santos, can we get a mic check from you? What's good, Santos? How you doing, Santos? How you doing, Santos? Mic check the Santos. Yeah, I don't wanna no trolls getting on. I might have to let you off, Santos. Yeah, we won't let you off, man. Let you on out of here. So, salutes to the panel. If anybody else want to bill, y'all can. If not, I'm going to either review another video or start a different show and a different topic and set.
Going on as far as community leadership.
I don't really look at FBA in the same. Well, it's because really it start with your community. Like when Martin Luther King was doing a lot of activism in the South that was bringing forth, undoing a lot of injustices. When it comes to are we on our own or not today? I wouldn't just look at these groups like FBA or NOI and all that as to just make that my salvation sort of thing. I would actually start with the people in my community. If some popped off right now, it ain't gonna be FBA helping you. It's gonna be your next door neighbor, the guy down the street, your cousin, your people right there in proximity to you. Y'all gonna be all you got if some pop off right now. So I don't really look to these groups as my salvation. I look for them as a collective effort for black people to galvanize ourselves to gain leverage on a political level. But when it comes to like my protection or survival, to me, that's more local based. Well, how about y'all? What y'all think?
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Salutes to the chat room.
Well,
I'm this one I'm gonna do, guys. This topic wasn't. I had 2 hours set up for this stream, but I'm saying now that it ain't gonna even take the whole 2 hours because we ain't gonna have a lot of this. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this one down earlier than I thought and prepare and get and come with a whole nother conversation and topic. So I'll see y'all on the next one. I'm gonna figure out what we coming back with, and we'll do it that way.
All right, okay.
Peace and much love to everybody. Appreciate y'all.
Right. God bless.
Appreciate everybody in the chat room for coming out today for this awesome information. It ain't gotta be long to be strong. So share it, because it's the unpopular information. And it battles against the COINTELPRO, the socially engineered ritual and reaction that we go through every year around this time. Peace and much love.